Hey, it is 12 o'clock on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Charisma, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Wednesday, 12 Eastern Time, we come to you live to talk about the technical side of the real estate industry. And, a lot of times, we get the argument with some of this stuff that, hey, you don't need to know about cap rates if you're not doing investment real estate, and that's true. Or maybe, let's see what else we talk about. Property taxes, how to calculate the property taxes. Sometimes people just want to know what the property taxes are, and that information is out there. But today, we're talking about a topic that does get very technical, but it's essential to your success. If you cannot master some way, somehow, to generate leads and get your business oxygen for it to breathe, you're going to have a hard time selling any real estate without any real people to sell the real estate to. So that's what we're talking about today. It's a fundamental, super important topic. Stick with us. We've got a great show for you today. I'm John Charisma. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Charisma. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live to talk to you about the technical side of the real estate industry. And today, I usually say is no different, but it is a little bit different because what we're covering today is about lead generation. And this might be something you might more commonly see on State of Real Estate. That's our show we do on Fridays. And Friday's State of Real Estate, that's where we're talking about the business planning and business growth tactics and all that stuff to take your business to the next level. Whereas, on Wednesdays, it's usually stuff that's more technical, more exam prep type of stuff, but really this is kind of a bridge of the two, because what we're going to talk about as we go through this whole concept of lead generation is talk about some of the legal implications you'll also need to know for each one of these. And this is where it is important for your real estate exams, as well as also important for the real world as well, to make sure you're not lead generating in any illegal capacities. So the lead, super important. This is kind of like the oxygen of the business. Hey, look, can you get those lights there too? This is like the oxygen of your real estate business. Without leads, you can't breathe. Without leads, you don't have anybody to sell real estate to. So super important that you have some way, somehow, to lead generate. And there's so many ways to lead generate. There's so many ways to get creative in how it is that you find business. And so let's talk about one that probably anyone that already has a real estate license, hopefully you have these, and that's business cards. Now, when I say business cards, you're probably saying, well, John, you're not telling me anything new. Of course, I have business cards. I would challenge you to find a realtor who does not have a business card, because probably 99.9% of them will have a business card. But look, here is the actual question. Here is where most people end up dropping the ball. Do you have business cards, or do you use business cards? Notice that shift there. Do you have business cards, or do you use business cards? And this might, if you just took your real estate exam, might seem familiar, these kind of little plays on words and whatnot, where you see certain exam questions, one word changes the whole meaning of the question. And the reason why the exam does that is because you'll see that in the real world with contracts, and you see that in the real world when you just think about things. Do you have business cards, or do you use business cards? Those business cards aren't going to do you any good sitting in a fancy business card holder. Remember when I first got my real estate license, I went out, ordered some super nice business cards, and these cards, they ended up costing, and I bought like 1,000 of them too, to try to get the bulk discount, and they ended up costing about, it was 25 cents per card. And they're a really nice card. The foil printing is super thick. You could like throw them and put somebody's eye out with these things. These were like super nice business cards. But you want to know what happened to me with these business cards? I had these precious business cards that every single one of them that I gave out basically was a quarter, which, I mean, really not too much, but, being new to the real estate business, I got these super expensive business cards, and rather than using business cards, I was concerned more so with having the business cards. And when your concern is having business cards and not using business cards, you're not handing them out to people. And if those business cards are sitting in your pocket, they don't do you any good. If those business cards are sitting in your car, in your business card holder, sitting on your desk, or whatever that may be, it's not getting you any business. The way business cards will get you business is if you're using them, if you're handing them to people. And who is it that you hand them to? Every single person it is that you introduce yourself to. And, this could be just as simple as, maybe you're riding in an elevator somewhere. That's always they talk about the whole kind of, elevator pitch. That's kind of the whole theoretical side of this. Maybe you have a job currently, and now this is where, nothing illegal specifically about this by the laws, but definitely check with your company policies and make sure you're not going to get fired unless you want to get fired, so then you could pursue real estate full time, then go for it. But, maybe you're in your current job, you say, oh yeah, I also do real estate, here's my business card. I've heard about people prospecting as an Uber driver. They're driving Uber, and they're meeting people, and then when they're making introductions to people, they say, oh yeah, by the way, I have a real estate license, I just drive Uber on the side, here's my card. And a lot of times what happens, and the reason why this is so important to get these cards in the hands of people, is that a lot of these people will take the business card and they'll toss it aside and it'll never amount to anything. And what happens is you hand out enough of these business cards and eventually you're going to strike that gold. The lightning's going to strike. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. You stick with this long enough. You go through that whole stack of 1,000 business cards and you put them in the hands of 1,000 people. And with these business cards, you could, and so whenever it is that you're thinking about what would work, you always want to try to, and it's easier said than done, but always try to take a step back. Always try to take a step back and ask yourself that question, is this the best use of the business cards? Better yet, ask somebody else. Ask your broker. Ask any other agents in your office, hey, what is it that you do with business cards? Do you just drop them? Do you just leave them places? When you sign a bill, I've heard of people signing bills at restaurants and they leave their business card in there. That might work, that could, but how do we increase the probability? How do we increase the likelihood? And, spoiler alert for this show, any way to generate leads can be good and can be great if it's done effectively. And so that's what we're really kind of focusing on today, is making the effective use of these lead generation tools, such as something as simple as a business card. But if we think of the fundamentals with this, are we just leaving this for somebody to find and say, oh, they left this here? Or are we making that a little bit of an introduction? Just something as simple as, hey, my name's John Chrismo, I'm in real estate. If you ever need somebody, I will treat them better than any other realtor that's out there. Here's my card. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text or send me an email for any questions it is that you might have. What did that take? 10 seconds for me to get that out and give them that card? That extra 10 seconds of them seeing the person that you are, that card is behind, that will really make a huge impact. And the reason why I want to start off with business cards, something so simple and so fundamental, is this is a basic. Everything we're doing on top of this is building upon this. And now, you might not be the person that walks up to everyone you meet and hands them a business card, but you probably should be. If you want to be the evangelist for your business, and I love that word evangelist, and when you hear that word evangelist, you think of the word televangelist, and you think of these people preaching on TV, talking, preaching the word of God, and they're God's salespeople. I know it sounds bad when the way it is that I say that, but basically you have to take that same type of perspective, and how poorly would you look upon this person that's on TV preaching the good word, and then they go out on streets and you see them, I don't know, littering or kicking homeless people, or just something where it's just you see that this person doesn't line up with who it is that you think they are. And now, if you imagine that you envision yourself as this real estate mogul, as this leader of this real estate empire, the leader of a real estate team, and if you just kind of think of yourself in that light, you've got to ask your question, is everyone else seeing you in that light? You want to be the person, and I see this all the time, we post it on our Facebook page, it's like jokes sometimes, but there's a little bit of reality behind the humor of this here. And if one of the big things you see a lot is where you have a friend or a family member or even somebody it is that you've interacted with before about real estate, and they end up buying their house with somebody else or selling their house with somebody else, and we feel like we get stabbed in the back, but it's not their fault. It's not that they're a backstabber, that they went and sold their house or bought their house with somebody else. It's they forgot. Or they didn't know, they never knew in the first place that you were the real estate expert, that you were the real estate professional, and we have to constantly reinforce that aspect. So business cards are essential and huge because that helps put you in the real estate evangelist mode where every person it is that you're seeing, hey, I'm the real estate expert, hey, I'm the real estate expert, and the whole positive thinking and affirmation thing, you tell enough people you're the real estate expert. Maybe you're not the best expert in the world, but you're on your way to doing that because you're constantly reinforcing that image and you're having people holding you now to that expectation. And look, if you're going up to people and saying, hey, look, I'm new to real estate, here's my card, give me a call, they're probably not going to give you a call. But if you say, hey, I'm the real estate expert, or hey, I'm the realtor in the area. So pay attention to these simplicities, these little type of details here. And this is just for something as simple as business cards. I want to get into some of these more complex topics here about some of these prospecting activities. Let's see, what are some of these other ones we had in here? Websites we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about social media, open houses, mixers, bus bench ads, mailers, email marketing, postcards, for sale by owners, door knocking, phone calling. So many of these different things, and any one of these can work if they're done correctly. The mistake a lot of not only new but also experienced agents that they make when they're going through these different type of prospecting activities, it's not that it's a bad activity. It's not that business cards don't work. It's that you're not using the business cards effectively. That's how you make any one of these lead generation tools work. And if you think of that again in just the simple aspect of business cards, do the business cards get you any business sitting on your desk? No. Do they get you any business sitting in your pocket? No. Do they get you any business sitting in your car? No. You've got to put them in people's hands. You have to use them effectively. And when you have that right formula down, they'll work. And that applies to any one of these. So I want to talk about some of these other strategies around some of these other types of marketing lead generation techniques. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So stick with us. I'm John Christopher. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
If you've been thinking about real estate, look, in this current market, it's hard not to. There's so many opportunities that exist out there for residential real estate, commercial real estate, business brokerage, property management. I mean, it's ridiculous how much opportunity lies from having a real estate license. So look, if you've been thinking about getting a real estate license, I mean, it's minimal cost compared to starting other careers and starting other businesses to get into this. So I urge you to check it out and give it a try. I mean, even if you're just using your license for personal use, you've got huge, immense benefits there. Go to this link. It's licensefl.com. That's licensefl.com. Put that link in the description. It's got your step-by-step guide to get a Florida real estate license. And look, check it out. Give us a call. We're here to answer any questions it is that you have, and go out there and make some money.
Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Did you know that statewide only about 50% of test takers pass their state exam on the first try? At the Tampa School of Real Estate, we've broken down passing class and state exams into 4 simple steps: learning the information, reinforcing the information, testing your knowledge, and being confident and prepared. View the details of the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. Every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live. And before we get back into talking about lead generation, I want to give a shout out to Logan, Lita, Ryan, Mark, Vince, Liz, Chris. Thank you guys for tuning in and commenting on Facebook. Thank you for sharing with your friends and family. It really means a lot to me when I see you guys actually enjoying these episodes it is that we do. Because we don't do this for my ego. We do this to help you guys out, to make it so when you have your real estate license, you got a little bit of a sense of the direction it is that you should go in. But let's get back into today's topic of lead generation. So we talked about the business cards and how the key thing here, and I just want to write this down, don't have, use. It's not about having the business cards, it's about using the business cards. And this is going to be a universal rule as we go through these different lead generation strategies here that you want to keep in mind always. So one of the big ones, and this is another thing that I really got hung up on when I was first starting out in real estate. And I put too much emphasis, especially on the emphasis along having this and not effectively using this. And this is a website. So websites can be amazing for lead generations. There's lots of agents out there that are cranking out hundreds of leads a month, if not a week, if not a day, from a well-oiled machine that is a website. But it always goes back to rule number one. Don't have a website. Use your website. Have a website that you use. And now this doesn't mean that you're searching for properties on there for your clients, but you should put yourself in your client's shoes and test drive your website. Does your website load quickly? Because if it doesn't load quickly, guess where else they're going to go? To a website that loads quickly, whether it's Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia or any other realtors out there with their own website or brokerages or there's so many websites out there. If you get so lucky to get a visitor on your website, but that website is clunky, it doesn't work, then they're not going to use it. They're going to move on. And so it's not just about having a website. You're better off not even wasting any time and energy or money on a website unless you're planning to fully use that website to its maximum potential. And, maybe you're not a technical type of person. You're not a techie, as they like to say. You don't have to be. You're going to have to pay a lot of money to get a website. And don't go down that route of trying to learn how to build websites because you're trying to save money. Because there's a lot better uses of your time with your license to sell, your license to buy and sell real estate. There's a lot more profitable uses of your time than trying to sit on your computer and figure out how to do HTML coding and all this crazy stuff. And if you want anything that's useful to your clients, it's going to take a lot of time, money, and effort to build out a website like this. So the website you want to be careful about. You've heard a lot that, whether it's like some startup talk or whatever that may be, and how they talk about how essential websites are and how essential apps are and all this other stuff. Look, yes, that will help your business, but only if it's used effectively. There's some great services out there that offer websites, but they're usually costing a few $100s a month, if not more. And let's say it's $500 a month for this. $500 a month is going to end up costing you $6,000 a year. Now, the way a lot of people justify this is they say, well, I could pay $500 a month if it's only going to cost me $6,000 a year. If I just get one deal off of that, the website will pay for itself. And you're correct. But let's think about what else it's going to take to get people on that website. Just having a website is not going to gain you business. And that's the way the internet works. There's billions, if not trillions, of websites out there. And if you Google real estate in Tampa or real estate wherever your market is, houses for sale in this particular market, you're going to see all of your competition it is that you have. And unless you're willing to pay, you're not going to be able to beat out Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com or even brokerages sometimes have some pretty high-ranking websites in organic search results. So the organic stuff, don't rely on that. Maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, once you have a well-established website that has a lot of all that stuff that makes SEO good, then maybe you've got a website that naturally produces traffic. But I mean, if we're talking about 10 years of this, that's $60,000. That's a pretty long time to wait for a return on your investment. And that's a lot of money to invest to get something producing leads. But now, how do we make this work? How do we get this working from day one? Well, if you want to compete, the simple answer is to pay money for advertisements. And we could do pay-per-click advertising. This is like the stuff that you see at the top of Google search results, which these used to look like, if you remember searching in Google back in the day, there'd be these big, ugly yellow boxes, and they would basically make you not want to click the ads. Now, even the great Google realized that they were doing it wrong. They realized that, hey, if we want to really sell some ads to be able to pay for all the things it is that we do, because that's where Google gets pretty much all their revenue to do everything that Google does is through selling ads on Google. And when these ads are paid for by the click, then these big, ugly yellow ads up at the top that are an eyesore, you don't want to click on those. You know they're an ad. If you go and Google something now, all there is just this little green box next to the search results that says ad. And you probably don't even catch it, but it's there. And those are the spots that are paid for. So you could rise to the top of the ranks in Google for a price. And, this depends on the market it is that you're in. It depends on how much competition there is, how many people are advertising in the area, what keywords it is that you're advertising on. Look, there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. And a lot of people think of websites as, okay, I need a business card, I need a website. My recommendation, unless you have a lot of web experience, is to skip the website or outsource this. You can get these companies that build these websites for you to also manage your pay-per-click advertising. And when they do that, they take that headache off of you, because there's a lot of ways to spend money in pay-per-click advertising and basically be throwing money away when it could be used more effectively if you know what you're doing. So be very careful with this. This takes a lot of training, a lot of time, a lot of development to get something that's really cranking out leads. But let's say that you're spending another, let's say $1,000 a month on pay-per-click advertising. And if you're doing that, that's now $12,000 a year, which now makes this a $18,000 a year investment for your website. Now, if you're spending $1,000 a month on advertising, you should be getting multiple leads, and this should pay for itself many times over if you're handling these leads correctly. Today's episode, we're just talking about generating these leads and making use of these tools effectively, using these tools correctly to generate leads. But then we've got some other shows you could watch for kind of turning these leads into actual business and whatnot. So that's pay-per-click. That's one option. Another option is social. And you say, aha, there we go, John. I could just post the website on Facebook, and then that's going to get me so many leads that I don't know what to do with them all. Not so much. And this is really kind of old news, but Facebook doesn't show everything to everyone. Facebook will only show, or really any of these platforms, all these social media platforms all use these filters and algorithms to determine what it is they're going to show to people. But if you're trying to sell people stuff, you get lost. And if you're really trying to make any big impact and reach outside of your sphere of influence, that's where you've got to advertise on social media as well. So whatever your budgets are, the key thing here I want you to understand before you go out and start spending and investing all this time in building a website is websites are costly. They're expensive. They can be very great, but they come at a price tag. And maybe you could build out the website yourself and it's not going to cost you this much. Maybe you're not doing one of those fancy property search websites, but maybe some sort of landing page or ClickFunnels, or there's so many ways to utilize the web, but just beware of the cost it's going to take you to generate these leads. Business cards, these are next to free. The business cards I was paying 25 cents for, you could get business cards for like half of a cent. And that's next to nothing for each one of these times that you could get these out in people's hands and have that personal impression on them as well. Websites, however, they get really expensive, especially when you're first starting them out. So they're great, but start closing some deals. Then maybe try to talk to somebody who's more technical, talk to a company that does these websites, and then try to bring that in. But don't rely that's a big mistake I see a lot of new agents make. Unless you're some sort of web developer, designer, or anything like that, leave the website for later. And I know that sounds like, oh, what do you mean? I need to have a website. No, you don't. Just put your brokerage's website on there, or maybe your brokerage gives you a website, and maybe it's not the best website in the world, but it's something in case they want to go onto a website. But don't put a lot of emphasis in the website. The only time you want to emphasize the website is if you're spending money to get people on that website. And there's a lot of schools of thought to this here, because if you have a website on the business cards, you're going to want a place for people to go, but a lot of people aren't going to go there. Most of the time, people are just going to call you off that business cards. A lot of the time, they're just throwing the business cards away, and when you hit that actual good lead, that's where they're going to call you, or they'll tell you right then and there where they're giving you your card, and you don't want to just give them your card. You want to get their phone number and now follow up with them. But that's one of the big things. You don't want to just have a website. You want to use the website and use the website effectively. Now, let's talk about one more before we go on and take another short break. Let's talk about social media. So the social media, if this is done correctly, you could do this for free and get some decent results with this without spending any money in advertising. And the way it is that you do that is that you're not doing the advertisement route. If you're trying to use social media for free to gain business, that's where you have to go more the content-based route. And the content-based route, so you guys are watching a form of content marketing here. This is content marketing. This is giving value to your audience so that they will exchange value with you in return. If you're maybe doing some video of an open house, I see a lot of realtors, and this is a great use of the ones that really use social media well, is that they'll do, maybe an Instagram story, or, you can even do the stories on Facebook now, where they say, oh, check out this house it is that I'm showing today. Check out this open house. Something like that, where you're almost kind of telling a story, or maybe something funny it is that happened to you at one of these open houses or something like that. The key with social media, when you're not spending money for advertising, because when you're spending money for advertising, you do whatever you want. You put, hey, sell your house with me. Now, there might be ways to make that work better, but you could do that, and you just dial in the price, and people will see that. With social media, doing it organically, that's what, to use this effectively to generate leads, that's where you want to come across more as a person rather than a business. And that, hey, this is what I do. These are the stories. These are the tales of my days in real estate. Something like that, to tell a story, to make it almost educational or entertaining. I mean, that's what you got to do when you're trying to do this organic. You've got to be educational or entertaining. Entertaining usually, if you are entertaining, is usually a little bit easier with that, because you could kind of just talk about your daily life, about maybe some of the, no one wants to really hear about your woes in real estate, but maybe some of the things it is that you're doing, that as, oh yeah, look at this house that I'm going to show today. I'm really excited to go to this. Wish me luck. Something like that. And it comes across that you're more of a person. So social media is used most effectively when it's very personalized. Unless you're advertising. If you're doing the social media advertisements, like I said, then you do whatever you want. That's where you can get more salesy when you're doing social media advertisements as opposed to just organic social media. Because if you try to be salesy here, you're not going to get the feedback. When people go on Facebook, they're not going on Facebook to watch a sales pitch. They're going on Facebook to be entertained. Maybe to some degree be educated, but most of the time people are going on Facebook or any of these social media platforms to be entertained. So if you're entertaining them, they're going to watch your entertainment, and they're going to pick up on that, oh, they're in real estate. And this is how you ensure that people don't end up buying a house or selling a house with some other agent. If you're constantly reminding them, if you're the evangelist for real estate, then they're not even going to think of anyone else. They're like, well, John's obviously the guy to talk to about real estate. All I see is, all he does is talk about real estate 24/7. Obviously, if I have a real estate question, I want to talk to John. That's what you want your people, your clients, your leads, your friends, your family, your sphere of influence. That's what you want them thinking about you, that you're the expert in real estate. But you don't just tell them you're the expert in real estate. You show them that you're the expert in real estate. You show them that you're doing things. You're showing them the houses you just got under contract, that you got sold, and you're making it entertaining in the process. Because when you can do that, that's where you'll get people paying attention. And that can be done for free. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of finesse to do that for free. And ultimately, if you want to reach a wider audience, that's where you're going to have to go to the advertising. But you can reach a limited audience and get them engaged and pick up some deals so you can afford to do some advertising to really start growing your business and really start dumping. Because, for example, so with the pay-per-click here, we're talking about $1,000 a month. People might see that and say, wow, $1,000 a month, that's a lot of money to spend a month, especially on top of the $500. That's $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year. Wow, that's a lot of money. How could I ever spend that? Well, look, if that $18,000 a year gets you $100,000 in business, obviously you would spend that. If I asked you the question of, hey, would you trade me $18,000 for $100,000? If you had $18,000 to give me, you would give me that $18,000 to give you $100,000. So when it becomes a cost of doing business and it works, I mean, you could spend $180,000, and if it gets you $1 million, you would do that. And so that's how this kind of investment in your business actually works. But you can't start out right there. And that's why it's better to utilize these free or next to free methods of generating leads, because when you're doing that, you could afford to mess up. You could afford to blow it on a couple of deals and not get a closing because you weren't spending thousands of dollars in this lead generation. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking more about lead generation. I want to talk about some more of these kind of face-to-face things. I also want to talk about Zillow lead generation, because that can be used as well, but we'll talk about that one. So stick with us. I'm John Christmas. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christmas with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we talk about the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is lead generation. We've talked about using business cards. And the key rule here, not having business cards, but using business cards. And that applies to any lead generation strategy. Not having a website, but using a website. Not having social media profiles, but using social media profiles. You know, and the thing here, for the sake of time management, if you're not willing to go all the way or go at least far enough to make this worth your while with a website, with social media, don't waste time setting up a website. Don't waste time setting up social media channels unless you're going to use them. absolutely have a website, absolutely have a social media, but only if you're going to use it to generate business. Because otherwise, if let's say back to that story when I first got started, and like I said, I went and I spent all this time designing these business cards, and I really didn't know what I was doing, so I was, Googling a lot of stuff, trying to figure out how to, design the business cards and make it look good, and I was really proud of the product. I was really proud of what that business card looked like in the end. But look, I wasn't getting paid. This is the mistake I made. I wasn't getting paid to design the business cards. Me designing that business card got me zero business. Me having that business card got me zero business. The only way that business card got me any business was when I was finally willing to part ways with each of those business cards. And when you devote that much, it's something that happens psychologically. I mean, you almost want little cheapo business cards so you could just give them literally to every person it is that you meet until you can break that mindset of that you don't want to have. You want to run out of business cards. You don't want them to just sit in your pockets. You want to run out of them so you can get more, and then maybe they get a little bit better. You get more, and then they get a little bit better. But don't waste a lot of time designing this. Pay somebody to design it if you really want it to look nice, but get some sort of business card and get it out there and use that business card. The website, it's not having a website that generates you business, it's using the website. Having visitors use the website, you using the leads that you're getting off of the website, you giving that website and putting it out there, because that website, if there's no visitors on it, that website is not being used. The website is almost like a virtual storefront. And if you imagine that, let's say that you're a broker and you opened an office. The equivalent of what it's like with starting a website is opening an office where there's no roads going to this office. You open up this office and there's no roads that go to your office. And you're just sitting there waiting for people to walk in. That's what you're doing when you're building a website. If you build a website and you put it online, doesn't matter what domain it is that you have, you've built a website basically with no roads to it. Or maybe there is a road to it, maybe there's some sort of path through, maybe you are in Google somewhere on the 10,000th page, or maybe you posted on your social media, so maybe there are some paths to get to that office it is. But in order to build a freeway to that website, that's where you're really pushing it. Whether you're paying for pay-per-click advertising, whether you're putting it in social media, whether you're putting out flyers that you're passing them out, or it's on your business card and you're giving that to everyone, these are the only ways to get people on your website. And it's a numbers game. It's not just about getting 1 or 2 people a day on your website. It's about getting thousands of people a day on your website. And that's where you'll have a good steady stream of leads. If you've got 10 people going on your website, that might say like, wow, there's 10 people on the website. If I sell each one of them a house, that, we all love to do that math of if I get every person it is I give a business card to, but the unfortunate news is not every single person you hand a business card to, or not every single person that goes on your website, or not every person that sees your social media is going to transact with you. Maybe they don't want to transact. Maybe they want to transact with somebody else. Maybe there's so many maybes that could occur here. So we can't count on every single one of those business cards to result in a deal, or every visit on our website, or every watch or view on our social media video or picture or comment or whatever that may be. So it's a numbers game with all these here. And what I want to talk about, another one, and this is something that, let's talk about one that a lot of people are afraid to do. And you probably already know where I'm going with this one, if you know a little bit about. So knocking on people's doors, being that guy, being that girl that shows up at somebody's house uninvited, knocking on their door, saying, hey, my name's John. I'm the real estate professional that just got assigned to this neighborhood. I just wanted to stop through. Don't worry, I'm not trying to get your house sold today unless you want to sell your house. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I just wanted to stop by, introduce myself. I actually have a market report here. You getting my market report emails yet? Oh, no, you're not? Well, here, let me get your email so I can get that sent out to you. And let me get a couple details on the house while I'm at it. And then, by the way, I know we joked about this earlier, but were you considering selling your house at all? So you're building this conversation, and when you're doing this, what's going to happen is it's not every single door it is that you knock on. A lot of people, what happens is they go knocking on a door, nothing. They don't get an answer. They're like, oh crap, this isn't working. They go knock on another door. Maybe they get an answer, but maybe they're a little nervous and they close the door on their face. Then they go to the next door and they knock on it and they say they're not interested. And after 3 doors, they're ready to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done with this. This doesn't work. It's not that you did door knocking or that it's not that you have door knocked. It's that you're using door knocking to generate leads. Any one of these, the business cards, the website, the social media, door knocking, cold calling, for sale by owners, sending postcards, doing mailers, it's not that you did them, that you have done them, it's that you're constantly doing them, that you're constantly using these tools to generate leads. You might need to knock on, and I was talking to David Cribbs the other day, you might remember David Cribbs. He's been on the show before, and he was talking about door knocking. And this guy, phenomenal salesperson, he said he went out and he knocked on 66 doors. And, a lot of people, they say that, wow, 66 doors, how long did that take you? How much time did it spend? How many doors did you get closed in your face? But let me tell you what he said happened on that 66th door. He knocked on 66th door. Guess what? On the 66th door, he got a listing for that property right there. Walking in, knocking on the door, getting invited in, and getting them to sign a contract to list their property for sale. 66. Most people are not willing to go to 66. They might quit at 50. They might say, oh, I knocked on 50 doors. I didn't get anything. This is a waste of time. I'm never doing this again. 66. And that's just a really recent case of specific numbers. I've done door knocking before. I've knocked on hundreds of doors and not gotten any business. But I still did it. I still continue to knock on doors until I found leads, until I perfected my strategy, until I perfected my approach, until I was able to generate leads doing that. And any one of these endeavors it is, if you're not willing to go 100% on any of these, 100% on your business cards, 100% on your website, 100% on your social media, 100% on the door knocking, don't waste your time doing that. Look, if you don't like door knocking, don't do door knocking, but do something else to generate business. Look, door knocking is a great way, and this is because how much does it cost you for admission to get into these neighborhoods and knock on doors? $0. It's the sweat equity strategy. So, if you don't have money to invest in advertising, get out there and go knock on some doors. Get face-to-face with people. And look, you're not there to be the salesperson, and if you go in there thinking that every one of these people it is that I talk to is going to be a lead, look, you're just trying to build a relationship. Because especially when you're using that approach like I talked about at the beginning, where, hey, my name's John, I'm the real estate expert that's been assigned to your area. I'm a licensed professional with blah, blah, blah realty, and I just wanted to drop off one of our market reports here as well as introduce me. Have you been getting the emails of these yet? Oh, no, they must not have been sending them to you already. What's your email address so I can make sure that you get a copy of this? Oh, you don't want me to send you emails? Well, look, you're going to want this report here. I could actually just stop by every month if you prefer and drop it off to you. I'm usually in this neighborhood pretty often, so whenever I'm stopping by, I could drop it off. Would that be okay with you? Oh, no, you just rather give me your email? Okay, sure, yeah, okay, now what's that email address? And then just in case that doesn't work, what's your phone number? So now you're getting these details here, and you're making sure that you're doing this, and it might come across a little aggressive, but look, if you're smiling while you're doing this, if you're not being pushy, there's a lot of rules, and you definitely want to watch some trainings on door knocking. We've done a whole episode before on door knocking, but it does work when it's done correctly. When you're using door knocking and you're knocking on enough doors, you will get business. So really the whole thing with any of these advertising lead generation strategies is the numbers. But the benefit of door knocking is it's real easy to hit these numbers. It's real easy to go out there and knock on 100 doors. You don't need to have any money in your pocket to go out there and knocking on doors. You just go out there and do it. Make yourself look presentable. Get yourself some sort of flyer, some sort of market report, something you could give them, something to put in their hands. Practice a little bit in the mirror and get out there and go make some mistakes. Go fail forward. Go do some of this. And, if you don't like it, that's fine. Do it enough to get some deals where you get paid for advertising now, where you don't have to be out in the hot sun knocking on doors, sweating, and trying to scrounge up some business that way. Look, it's a great strategy, but I know it's not for everyone. A lot of realtors, myself included, stop door knocking because you could afford to advertise in other methods. And when you could afford to advertise in the other methods, maybe you don't want to be out there sweating. Maybe your better usage of time now isn't out there sweating looking for deals. It's now handling all the incoming pipeline of deals it is that you have and closing them. Because that's the goal. This is how you start to build up a pipeline. But look, this isn't a long-term strategy. A lot of people that talk to me, John, I'm really interested in real estate, but I've heard you talk about door knocking, and I don't want to, be out there door knocking for the rest of my life. Look, no, you don't have to. Just get out there, get a couple of deals, or better yet, look, do you have money saved up now? You could go invest that right away in advertising, not have to knock on a single door. So it's one option. And look, if you're not willing to go to that 66 houses, or maybe it takes you 100, or maybe it takes you 166 or 200 houses, or whatever that may be, however many houses it takes you, if you're not willing to go to 100 or 200 or 300 or 400 or 500 houses in a week, which that sounds like a lot, but you do 100 a night, 5 nights a week in the early evening. We're perfect time right now with daylight savings time, whether I think it's ended now that we don't have daylight savings time on right now. But it's perfect timing because it stays light out later. So people are already home. They're maybe hanging out with their families, having dinner, which you'll be interrupting them. So be prepared for that because you'll get a little pushback. So you got to make it quick. You got to make it short. You got to make it concise. Just do a quick introduction, and you'll be able to feel out and gauge from them whether or not they're a hot lead, whether they're the low-hanging fruit, or whether they're somebody that you just want to start the relationship with and move on to your next one. And it's all about filling up the pipeline. Any one of these lead generation strategies, it's all about filling up the pipeline. So we're going to talk about mailers next, because mailers are something else I want to talk about that can really be a gold mine of lead generation. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break, so stick with us. I'm John Grismer. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Have you been thinking about starting a career in real estate? Enjoy an entrepreneurial lifestyle that allows for schedule flexibility with unlimited income potential. In real estate, the sky is the limit, and what you put in is what you get out. Learn more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Have you completed your FREC required post-licensing course? There's still time before your next renewal. At the Tampa School of Real Estate, our classroom and online courses will meet your FREC requirement and teach you real-world information applicable to your business. Learn more and enroll today at postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on Facebook. Better yet, go to tampaschool.com/success. If you're already watching on our Success Center, if you already get our emails, you already know the drill. But if you have not yet, go on tampaschool.com/success, sign up for email updates, and whenever it is that we go live, you're going to get an email, so that way you don't miss out on any of this information here. And there's no obligation for any of this information. You sign up for this. We just hope that you're going to share it with your friends and family. You share it with enough people, we hope we're going to come across some people that are interested in starting a real estate career. It's the numbers game. It's getting yourself out in front of enough people that you're the real estate expert. And one of the great ways to do that, to shift to like a prehistoric approach to marketing, is mailers. But look, I'll tell you this, mailers still work today. And as more as this world gets digital, when people start to get things in the mail, when they get something, especially something personalized in the mail, it makes an impact. And even if they realize it's maybe just some piece of junk mail or something like that and they throw it out, the key thing here is that you didn't do a mailing, that you do mailings. It's not something you did, it's something you do. It's not something you have done, it's something that you do constantly. That's true with any of these lead generation techniques. Do them until they work. If you're not willing to commit to a lead generation strategy until it works, to whatever it takes until it works, don't waste your time doing that. But look, mailers are great. So maybe you're the more kind of introverted person. We were just talking about door knocking. I know a lot of people cringe at the thought of going and knocking on random people's doors and interrupting their dinners and all that other stuff. Good, don't do it. Don't do door knocking then. It's a great way without any money, but look, mailers are a great way with minimal cash investment, and it doesn't take a lot of expertise to send a piece of letter. You know, digital marketing, a lot of people say, oh, why would I want to send a mailer when I could have a website and set up a Facebook and blah, 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 and all this other stuff? Look, if you know how to do that, that's fantastic. Do that. But if you don't have any skills in designing and building websites and generating profitable websites, hold off on the websites. That might be something you want to learn about down the road, but what's something you could do right now to generate you business? And now this is something, you know, they call this farming, and really all sorts of marketing and advertising to a certain group of people, to a certain audience, to a certain neighborhood, to a certain area. That's all farming. Farming is just really, it's the real estate word for marketing to again and again and again, which you should never market to somebody just once. If you market to somebody just once, you're basically throwing your marketing dollars away. It's the repetition that helps them learn who it is that you are, that helps them learn that you're the expert, and helps them learn that you're the person it is that they need to talk to when they need to sell real estate or buy real estate or whatever it may be. So for mailers, some of the things that shows, that tells that story, we just talked about one, and we were talking about email. We'll talk quickly. I know we're running out of time for today's episode, but I want to talk about emailers as well. But we're talking about just good old-fashioned print mail. You just print something out, stick it in an envelope, and send it out. Not too many ways you can mess this up other than not having the repetition behind it. There's a lot of ways to make this better and make it more profitable, but for the low cost of this and the level of skill it takes, everyone should be doing mailings. So the one that we talked about already, market report. This is a good one to send out because you're educating them in the process about this, but overall it's not something that's usually going to get them too excited unless you also have a valuation about their property in there, or an estimate of value, or you know, maybe you have a call to action there. Hey, are you interested in finding out what your property value is? This is where you could kind of bridge these two together. Maybe you have a property valuation website where they go in there and they put in their contact info, and that lets you know, okay, this is somebody that's curious as to what their value is. Maybe they're interested in selling their property since they're curious as to what the value is. So you can maybe tie in the website to that as well. You could really, the best way to lead generate is by bridging all of these methods of lead generation together. But again, the key thing is not just going 10% on one of these or 20%, going 100% until they work. So market reports are good, but what's even better, this is probably the number one that you should do for mailers. Just sold. Just sold. This one is huge because when you send out let's say a postcard that says, that has a beautiful picture of the house, and the way this postcard basically should look something along the lines of this. So we've got our little house here, maybe a little garage next to it. And you've got a great big red banner going across here. And that red banner says sold on it. And maybe we can put that in black and you'll see it. So something along the lines of that, where nice, beautiful picture of the property. The key thing is to get their attention. And if you have and this is a little bit more costly, so maybe you can't afford to do one of these fancy postcards yet, that's fine. Do this in some sort of letter format. But when you could afford to do a postcard, and remember, we want to commit to this for the long term, for at least a year when we're doing farming. We've done a lot of stuff on farming and advertising before. Check out the Success Center for all the past videos we've done on farming and advertising to find out more about this here. But probably one of the most effective ways, really nice, heavy, glossy postcard. Big, too. Not just something little where they got to, kind of look at it close up to see what it looks like, but a big one that they grab this and they're like, oh, wow, whoa, look at this house. Wow. Or maybe they'll say this and they'll go, wow, look at that house. That one sold? Well, if this house sold, ours gets sold. There's really not a way to do this wrong, especially when you've got your postcard looking real good. Now, you notice I put the sold on there. Did I mention where we're putting our brokerage name or anything like that? Not yet, because that doesn't want to go on the front. And check with your local laws. In Florida, you're able to do this as long as it's on the same marketing piece. So as long as you have this in the back here, because I know I told you I'd mention a couple of legality stuff of this here. You want to make sure you always mention your brokerage name in any sort of advertisement it is that you're doing. So on the back of the postcard, so there's our front. Here's the back. You've got your brokerage name there. We'll say ABC Realty. To be compliant, you stick that in there wherever, and check with your brokerage office policies and whatnot for maybe they require you to have the logo in there or something like that. And then just a quick little blurb about something. Maybe your little headshot down here, something like that. And this is where you have the call to action on the back. Because if people like what they see on the front, they'll flip it over to see what's on the back and what this is all about, why somebody's just sending you this here. Now, maybe they're not interested in real estate at all, whether it's buying or selling real estate, and they're just going to throw that away. It's the nature of the beast. Not every one of these is going to work. But when you find the person that's interested in this, they'll see this, oh, wow, look at this beautiful thing. Look at this nice house. Maybe it works better with ugly houses. Test this stuff. Find out what works good in your market, in the neighborhood it is that you're advertising to. They flip over on the back. Oh, look, this person just sold this. They sold this house in 21 days. Wow. Now, one of the things I hear about a lot from new agents with something like this is they'll say, well, John, what if I haven't sold anything yet? Well, a little bit of a pinch there, but look, here's how we could change this around. So we could so in Florida, when you have a real estate license for at least 2 years, you're required to work under a registered real estate broker. And if that brokerage office, if the broker themselves or one of the other agents in the office have sold something, you could ask them nicely, hey, I'm trying to get some business here. I'm struggling to get some deals. Do you mind if I use your property in a mailer and say that the office sold it? You'll come across some people that are like, no, that was my listing, go find your own. But then you'll find the people also that are very helpful. Really, usually, it's more helpful, especially if you're in a good office where there's good vibes and everybody likes everybody in there. They'll say, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Go make some money. Let's all get rich. That's the type of office that I would recommend it is that you go into. But look, you just change that wording because you don't want to misrepresent any details. You don't say that you sold it. You said, this house was just sold by my office, because it was. Not you in the office, but somebody in the office. This house just sold in my office in less than 21 days. It was under contract in 21 days. If you want to do this for your house as well, call me today for a free confidential consultation. Phone number. There we go. That's it. That's all you need. You need a phone number, you need to get some postcards, and you need some postage. Can't really mess that up. There's ways to do this better, like again, tweaking this and nailing it down. But look, even if this is some sort of letter where it doesn't look as nice, maybe something you just printed at home. Look, everyone's got to start somewhere. And even these little ones printed at home, especially, if you've personally signed this or something like that, or somehow personalized this, these will work. So we've got just sold. Some other ones you could do are just listed. We have coming soon, under contract, open house. I mean, there's literally so many things, and when you're putting these out there like that, you're showing people that you're busy, that you're somebody who actually does stuff. You're not just somebody who says they're a realtor, you're actually a realtor doing things. And that's what they want to see. They want to see that you're an expert. They want to see that you're not their first client ever that they've dealt with. And if you're marketing to them and just saying, hey, look, I could buy or sell your house, give me a call. I could help you buy or sell your house. Here's my phone number. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. That's not going to get you results, especially because the key thing here is dripping into this. It is constantly, maybe once a month, maybe once a week, maybe twice a month. Find your schedule that works for you, that you want to do this. I would say probably do this maybe once a week if you're really trying to get good results. But that's a ambitious goal for sending these out. But if you want to get quick results, the faster you send out these mailings, the faster you'll get somebody calling you. It's really, again, a numbers game. Don't expect somebody to call you off of this first one. You could have the best postcard in the world, send it one time to people, you'll probably never get any calls off of it. It doesn't matter how many people it is that you send it to if you only do it once. The key here is repetition. And the same thing applies. We could just simply change this to emailers. Maybe you get some sort of service like MailChimp, or there's thousands of these little email automation systems out there, and then maybe you're out there door knocking somehow because you want to make sure you're following all the canned spam laws and everything like that, and not just buying a list of emails and sending out emails to. And also, don't make the mistake of emailing your properties to other realtors. That's not going to get you. Maybe that'll get your property, help get it sold. But look, I could count on no fingers. I could have no fingers and count the number of times one of those deals that have landed in my inbox has been, oh wow, look at that. That's the one that my buyer's looking for. Let me go ahead and sell that to them. So don't waste your time sending these emails to other realtors. I don't know, maybe other people have had better results with them than me, but I know from the end result of that, getting these emails, I say, oh, what is this junk? And I look at them and I say, oh, that's a nice house. This is an interesting email it is that they're sending out. But then I move on because I'm like, well, if one of my clients is interested in something like that, then we'll figure that out. They're searching in the MLS, they're getting the auto emails and all that other stuff it is. So don't waste your time sending emails to other agents, because other agents aren't going to buy from you. But who will buy from you? Our clients, our homeowners, our people that are renting. And these are the things that you want to do when maybe you're passing out your business card to people. You say, oh yeah, here's my card. Matter of fact, I actually send out a real estate newsletter. Do you want me to send that to you? Of course you want it. What's a good email for you? So, and then you're building up this email list. And again, it's a numbers game with this, because with emails, because we get so many emails and because people don't follow the rules and we'll just send emails randomly to people who never opted in for emails, and those somehow get into our email inbox, they don't get caught into this junk folder. There's a lot of junk. There's a lot of crap that comes into emails, which makes regular mailing, because there's still a lot of junk mail that comes, but there's, I would say, probably less of it comparatively speaking to emails, because there's almost zero cost for sending an email. So that's something you want to build up as well. But again, don't go 10%, 20%, or even 90%. Go 100% into any one of these endeavors it is that you have for advertising and generating leads. Look, there's a lot more ways that we didn't talk about today, but the key thing is I want to leave you with today is when you're doing any sort of lead generation activity, you need to make sure that you're going 100% on that you're fully using that lead generation activity to its fullest potential. If you're sending postcards, send postcards to the same people until you get calls from these people, or letters, or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe hit them with the 1-2 and send a postcard and then go knocking on their doors, and then get their phone number and their email when you're knocking on doors, and now you can hit them with emails and phone calls. You want to surround them and inundate them and saturate them with who it is that you are, that you're the real estate expert. Remember, going back to that, being the evangelist for your brand, for real estate. So that's lead generation. There's a lot of ways to do that. I hope today's episode is going to help you lead generate better. I hope it's going to help you make better decisions about how it is that you want to lead generate based on which one it is that you're going to see through to the end. I'll do a little bit of research on some of these here, especially the website, I think, is the one that sneaks up on people the most, because everyone sees, like Wix.com and Squarespace and all these websites. Oh, it's so easy to build a website. Yeah, kinda. I mean, it's definitely gotten a lot easier over the years. But getting people to that website is a different story. Yeah, easy to build it. Now, getting people there, that's the harder part. That's the one that's going to be expensive, whether money or you're investing time and making sure every single person in the world knows that website is out there. Speaking of websites, if you're thinking about getting your real estate license, go to tampaschool.com. We've got a lot of great tools on there to help you go through the steps of getting your real estate license to passing your exams for the post-licensing you'll have to do. If you want to become a broker, we've got the broker courses, we've got the broker post-licensing courses, we've got continuing education courses, all kinds of continuing education courses. We've got some interesting ones on there as well. We actually had one that was just approved by the Florida Real Estate Commission called Marijuana in Real Estate. So if you're looking for some CE credits and you want to, have actually learn something, check out some of those CE courses we have. We have a lot of different options for continuing education on our website. So check those out. If you have questions, give us a call. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions it is that you have and assist you in any way it is that they can. If you like today's episode, make sure you make sure you subscribe, and again, go to tampaschool.com/success. That's tampaschool.com/success. You'll find the full recording of today's episode, all of our previous episodes, calculators, tools, articles, all kinds of great stuff to help you start or enhance your real estate career. And remember, put your email in there. Whenever it is that we go live, we'll send you an email. Make sure you guys tune in on Friday for State of Real Estate. That's our mastermind and business growth. I think we might kind of do a part 2 almost to today's episode and kind of go a little bit deeper in generating leads. And now maybe we'll talk about what to do after those leads. I know we've talked about that before, but maybe talk about, okay, now you've got these leads coming in. Now how do we convert them into actual business? So thank you guys for tuning in today. I will see you Friday for State of Real Estate.
If you've been thinking about real estate, look, in this current market, it's hard not to. There's so many opportunities that exist out there for residential real estate, commercial real estate, business brokerage, property management. I mean, it's ridiculous how much opportunity lies from having a real estate license. So look, if you've been thinking about getting a real estate license, I mean, it's minimal cost compared to starting other careers and starting other businesses to get into this. So I urge you to check it out and give it a try. I mean, even if you're just using your license for personal use, you've got huge, immense benefits there. Go to this link. It's licensefl.com. That's licensefl.com. Put that link in the description. It's got your step-by-step guide to get a Florida real estate license. And look, check it out. Give us a call. We're here to answer any questions it is that you have, and go out there and make some money.
Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Did you know that statewide only about 50% of test takers pass their state exam on the first try? At the Tampa School of Real Estate, we've broken down passing the class and state exams into 4 simple steps: learning the information, reinforcing the information, testing your knowledge, and being confident and prepared. View the details of the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.